Will the discovery of the Ark of the Covenant soon be publicly revealed to the entire world? When the discovery of the Ark of the Covenant is finally announced by the Israeli government, it will be the greatest archaeological bombshell in the history of the world. Authorities in Israel have known where it is located for a long time, but trying to remove an object of such immense importance from deep under the Temple Mount is always going to be complicated. In fact, when the Israelis finally unveil the Ark, they may not even admit where it was hidden all this time due to the conflicting claims of jurisdiction over the Temple Mount. If the Israelis openly admit that they took the Ark from under the Temple Mount, it could potentially set off riots all over the Islamic world. This is such a sensitive topic that it really will be a miracle when the discovery of the Ark is finally revealed. But it will happen. In fact, I believe that the announcement of the discovery of the Ark is most likely to happen on or near a major Jewish holiday. So every time another biblical festival rolls around, we need to be on high alert. In case you did not read my last article on the location of the Ark of the Covenant, I want to review one very important point. In the Western world, our scholars, quote unquote, have come up with all sorts of weird theories about the location of the Ark, but the truth is that over in Israel, they have known where it is resting for many years. In fact, on their official website, the Temple Institute actually admits that they know precisely where it is located. And they say, the Ark of the Covenant is one of the most fascinating of all temple-related objects. There are many theories about what happened to the Ark of the Covenant, and the speculation abounds as to its actual location. Some people think it was taken to the Vatican together with other temple vessels, such as those depicted on the Roman monument of the Ark of Titus. There are many authentic ancient historical chronicles and even more popular legends that attest to many sacred vessels having been taken away to Rome. However, this does not apply to the most holy feature of the first temple, that is, the Ark of the Covenant. While some claim to have evidence that the Ark is in Ethiopia, and of course moviegoers are treated to a fanciful version of the story of Raiders of the Lost Ark, in reality, the expression Lost Ark is not an accurate description for the Jewish people's point of view, because we have always known exactly where it is. So the Ark is hidden, and hidden quite well, but it is not lost. Tradition records that even as King Solomon built the first temple, he already knew, through divine inspiration, that eventually it would be destroyed, the temple that is. Thus Solomon, the wisest of all men, oversaw the construction of a vast system of labyrinths, mazes, chambers, and corridors underneath the Temple Mount complex. He commanded that a special place be built in the bowels of the earth, where the sacred vessels of the temple could be hidden in case of approaching danger. Midrashic tradition teaches that King Josiah of Israel, who lived about 40 years before the destruction of the first temple, commanded the Levites to hide the ark together with the original menorah and several other items in the secret hiding place which Solomon had prepared. This location is recorded in our sources, and today there are those who know exactly where this chamber is, and we know that the ark is still there, undisturbed and waiting for the day when it will be revealed. An attempt was made some few years ago to excavate towards the direction of this chamber. This resulted in widespread Muslim unrest and rioting. They stand a great deal to lose if the ark is revealed, for it will prove to the whole world that there really was a holy temple, and thus that the Jews really do have a claim to the Temple Mount. Of course, that's what the Institute says. Now, of course, knowing where it is and getting it out there are two entirely different things. The area under Temple Mount is riddled with at least 45 major tunnels, and not all of them are stable. An effort to do more digging could cause one or more of these tunnels to collapse, and if any of the structures sitting on top of the Temple Mount were damaged, that could cause an international incident. And as investigative archaeologist Harry Mishkoff has pointed out, getting approval from all of the necessary authorities would be exceedingly complex. Now about those subterranean tunnels, the Institute writes, even if one would theoretically obtain all of the permits from the Israel Antiquities Authority, the Jordanian WAQF, as well as the halachic permission from the chief rabbis of our day, is simply too dangerous from a spiritual as well as physical perspective to enter into these tunnels, which I delineate in my book. And further, the Ark seems to have this profound ability to sense who is around it, and if they have permission, as it were, to be there. And if not, the consequences have been proven to be lethal. Why take the risk? After all, even Moses would not enter the tabernacle that he himself built to speak with God without permission. So who would be worthy today? That's what the Institute writes. Personally, Michael Snyder says, I believe that God will keep the Ark hidden until the perfect moment, and so it will continue to rest under Temple Mount until the proper time. Moskoff is entirely convinced that the Ark is located directly behind a colossal 570-ton stone that was specifically placed there to protect it. Moskoff took CBN News to the spot where he believes the Ark really lies. He believes a key clue lies behind a 570-ton rock and says high-tech search tools give credence to his theory. 2 years ago, there were tests done by the University of Nebraska, sonar tests using electromagnetic waves. They actually found what's called a storage space across from here, said Moskoff. So actually, there was a purpose for putting this giant stone, this massive slab there. One of the reasons, in my opinion, is to protect whatever it is on the other side. And according to my theory of where the Ark was actually buried by King Josiah, I think it was 568 BC. In back of these boulders, these massive stones, he said. Time will tell if Moskoff is correct. Decades ago, there were multiple attempts to get that to the chamber where the Ark is. In fact, it has been reported by Rabbi Getz was actually within 40 feet of the chamber. Rabbi Getz believes that in 1982 he was very close, within 40 feet, to finding the cave in which the Ark resides. He was conducting a search in an old tunnel that had been filled with the debris of centuries, which runs perpendicular to the western wall and under the Temple Mount. However, when the Muslims discovered that there were diggings being conducted under the dome of the rock, they threatened the general riot, and the diggings were stopped. The rabbi explains that for the sake of maintaining peace with their Muslim neighbors, the Israelis had to reseal the entrance to the tunnel, and it remains blocked up to this day. After all this, it will take something really spectacular to get the Ark above ground again. Could it be possible that God will supernaturally intervene in order to make this happen? We shall see. Once the Ark is finally revealed, it will send spiritual shockwaves all over the planet. Many hold that it is only a matter of time until the whereabouts of the Ark will be revealed. The Temple Mount faithfully certainly believe that its discovery will be accompanied by the coming of the Messiah and the building of the third temple. Others think that its detection will connect Moses and the contemporary Jewish nation once and for all. They believe that it will forge a permanent, indissoluble bond between the state of Israel and the Temple Mount, in other words, affirming the right to settle in the land of Israel. And thus we see that the Ark of the Covenant is not only a religious symbol, but a political tool as well. And as I discuss in my book End Times, the revelation of the Ark of the Covenant will be a critically important prophetic sign. Once it happens, nothing will ever be the same from that point forward. I know that literally nobody else is talking about this right now, but I'm going to keep talking about it because eventually this will be the story that will throw the entire planet into a huge uproar. And this is by Michael Snyder. About the author, he says, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to families and friends. Time is short and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of the latest updates. I have published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is on End of the American Dream by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box